Hey there, everybody. I hope you're having a good day so far. Palm Beach County voters will elect a new state attorney in November. To give folks an opportunity to hear from the candidates in that race, here on ARC Florida, I've been presenting this series of reports called Justice on the Ballot. Now, the primary is August 20th. That's when the parties will make their picks about who should advance to the general. This morning, Alexcia Cox, Democrat, will talk with us about her qualifications and her ideas. Alexcia Cox is Deputy Chief Assistant State Attorney in Palm Beach County, and she's a member of the executive leadership team in the office. She has prosecuted hundreds of cases, including first-degree murders, domestic violence, elder abuse, child abuse, and other violent crimes. She supervises the Domestic Violence Unit and the North and South County Satellite Offices, also the County Court Misdemeanor Division. To cite some high-profile cases where Alexcia Cox won at trial, in 2022, she was lead prosecutor against Yuri Jenkins, and he was sentenced to life in prison for hiring one of his friends as a hitman to kill his pregnant wife so he could collect a life insurance policy. Cox assisted in the case against Palm Beach Gardens police officer Newman Raja. A jury found the former cop guilty in the fatal shooting of Corey Jones, whose car had broken down. Raja was convicted of manslaughter while armed and attempted first-degree murder. One idea that Alexcia Cox has that would be new in the office, if she wins the election, is to establish a dedicated hate crimes unit. Ms. Cox is with us live here. Let's talk about an area in the state attorney's office where things could be running smoother or better. What do you think the fix is for that?
Well, good morning. Thank you for having me. One easy fix, I think, would be to remove leaders who are divisive in our office. I think it's important that as we go about this journey, and as you know, there are a couple people in the office who are running for this great position of state attorney, but we need to make sure that we don't have divisive leadership there, and anyone who would attack the hardworking individuals in a unit such as our domestic violence unit, that's not indicative of true leadership that we need, and definitely not someone who should be our leader in the office. In addition to that, I believe it's important for us to crack down on the violent crime that we see in our community. For example, I think it would be great for us to bring back our robbery unit. Another great example of what we can do to improve the office is to expand our career criminal unit and dedicate more resources to making sure that people who consistently and continuously victimize other people and commit violent crimes are held accountable. You head up the domestic violence unit. I do. That has got to be one of the hardest areas to work in. I imagine you see all kinds of situations and problems there. Women that don't want to cooperate, change their mind, all kinds of things. What else would you have us know about that unit and the complications and the challenges that you and your team face with those kinds of cases? I have an amazing team of prosecutors, support staff, victim advocates who day after day after day deal with the grueling work of domestic violence prosecutions. We are an award-winning domestic violence unit. We received a national award for a program that I actually created that allowed us to hold individuals who committed a first-time act of domestic violence accountable, while also equipping and arming the victims with resources that they need to get help, to hold that person accountable, to get counseling services, and to also know that if another incident of domestic violence were to occur, they know where to turn to get that help should it happen again. And so we've put the work together to make sure that our conviction rates stay high. Right now, our conviction rate is over 90% because we are putting in the work each and every day to make sure that we're holding abusers accountable. You know, when you're in a unit such as a domestic violence unit, you can't measure success based on convictions. We measure success based on lives we impact, victims we empower, lives that we save, and people who leave the system knowing that they have true advocates working on their behalf, whether they want to prosecute or not. We want to get them help. We want to get them out of that situation. And even if they choose to stay, we want them to feel empowered enough that if it happens again, they know that we have their backs and we'll stand up for them. All right, can we turn the page here? Can we talk about some of those high-profile cases that I've covered for CBS 12 News and that the public is familiar with? Killer Clown, you had the Ferreters, the Boy in the Box case, and it seems like at the 11th hour,
there's a plea bargain. If Alexcia Cox becomes our next state attorney for Palm Beach County, will you dial back the plea bargaining? Is there ever a circumstance where you're going to say, no, we're not plea bargaining this? Talk to me more about this.
Yeah, you know, I've been a prosecutor for 16 years, almost 17 years, and I can tell you that plea bargains are an important tool in our toolkit for justice.
I knew you were going to say this.
Because it's true. You know, there's no way that we have the resources in our office and in our court system to be able to take every case to trial. However, you know, we know those cases that should go to trial, and we know the cases that are best for us to plea bargain out. And as long as it's a reasonable plea, we have victim input, and hopefully the victims understand why the case is being resolved in the manner that it is, and it's in line with the law, you know, our sentencing guidelines. I think that plea bargains should be extended in a lot of those cases, whether it's high profile or not. That's not the measure by which we should offer a plea. I think we extend plea offers when they're fair and when they're in line with the facts and the law.
Will you talk to me about the death penalty?
Yeah.
What's your position on that?
Well, I think the death penalty is a viable sentencing option for us. I know the last time that death was imposed in Palm Beach County was a few years ago, and there was a guy who he shot and killed a woman as well as her 11-year-old child. He shot the child, I believe, in the head and killed her.
Oh my goodness.
You know, the death penalty is reserved for the worst of the worst offenders in our community, and I believe as long as it is an available sentencing option, our job is just to decide whether or not to seek it. It's for the jurors, the community, to determine whether or not the death sentence should be imposed. And I believe that we have great community people here, people in our community who will do the right thing. And they did in that case. They decided that that was a case worthy of the death penalty, and it was imposed against this guy.
The law was changed after the Nick Cruz sentencing trial because there was one holdout on the jury, and that resulted in his life being spared. The Parkland school shooter. That is one of the most awful crimes in South Florida in recent history. Alexcia, do you think that the law should have been changed as a result of that? Let me pick your brain about what happened on the tail of what that sentence was.
Yeah, I mean, that was a tragedy for so many people in the Parkland community, and it caused a ripple effect throughout our state, obviously, with the laws being changed. I think that our legislature did what they felt was appropriate to make sure that we had better opportunities to seek the death, or to seek death and have jurors impose it if they believe that that was what the facts of a specific case warranted.
Sure. How's the campaign trail been so far? This is your first time running for office, right?
Yes, it's been amazing. I am so excited to meet new people. Voters are really excited about my race because, you know, we've never had a woman leading the state attorney's office. We've never had an African American leading the state attorney's office. So there's a lot of excitement behind my candidacy, and I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to not only run in the place that I've always called home, perhaps lead the office that I grew up in. I started my career at this office, but also to just meet the people and find out what they're looking for when we talk about public safety and the criminal justice system.
It's such an important race. Good luck in your primary.
Thank you.
Thanks for spending
Thank
some
you
time
so
with us
much,
this
Mike.
morning. We'll be right back.
Thank you.